We live in a culture where every thought, meal, and ambition is instantly broadcast to the world. Before we even take the first step, we seek out an audience, waiting for someone else's permission or approval to tell us we're on the right track. But every ounce of energy spent explaining your dreams to people who aren't invested in them is a heavy tax. It's time and focus stolen directly from your own progress, poured into justifying your decisions rather than actually executing them. This creates a subtle psychological trap. We start to mistake the act of talking about our plans for the act of actually doing the work. Look at what happens inside the brain when we announce our goals. Sharing an ambition triggers a chemical hit in the reward center. This dopamine loop activates the moment you receive social validation, like a comment or a supportive text message. The brain can't tell the difference between the praise you get for planning to do something and the reward you get for actually finishing it. The feeling of accomplishment washes over you, but the glow quickly fades, leaving you with a fleeting sense of progress and zero actual results. By harvesting this cheap validation, you satisfy your hunger for achievement before doing a single minute of hard work. You feel successful, but in reality, you've guaranteed you'll stay exactly where you are. Think about how much of your day evaporates into thin air when you let external opinions drive your choices. We scroll through highlight reels, comparing our clumsy beginnings to someone else's polished finish, and let ourselves get dragged into meaningless drama that has nothing to do with our own lives. As actor and director Denzel Washington points out, distraction destroys potential. Most people aren't exhausted because they are working too hard. They are drained because they spend their days defending their life choices and absorbing the noise of everyone around them. Surrounding yourself with spectators is a tax on your focus, not a support system. It drains the specific energy you need to bring your vision to life. To break out of this cycle of stagnation, you have to cut the cord on the external noise and turn your attention inward. Curious, engaging tone. This diagram represents a biological mechanism called the reticular activating system, or RAS. It acts as a cognitive filter in your brain. It literally curates the reality you experience, deciding which pieces of information get through based entirely on your dominant thoughts. If you constantly feed this filter with drama, self-doubt, and the opinions of others, it will meticulously highlight every obstacle and reason you might fail. But if you condition it with discipline and a narrow focus on self-improvement, the filter recalibrates. Suddenly, it starts pulling solutions and opportunities out of the background noise. Taking control of this system requires strict boundaries. You have to start saying no to irrelevant requests, cutting out toxic social media feeds, and fiercely guarding what you allow into your mind. Guarding your focus allows you to take absolute, intentional control over your own energy, directing every ounce of it toward the things you can actually change. We are conditioned to wait for a massive breakthrough, one lucky break or perfect opportunity that will fix everything at once. But lasting success almost never arrives as a single, loud event. True progress is built through repetition. It is the compound effect of waking up early, doing the work, and making smart choices day after day in complete silence. Think of a planted seed. For weeks or even months, the surface looks completely unchanged, but underneath the soil, aggressive, intense growth is happening in the dark. The roots are expanding, building a complex foundation long before the first green shoot breaks the dirt. Most people never see their efforts break the surface. They give up during this invisible phase because they are working without an audience, and there's no one around to applaud their early, unglamorous efforts. Keeping a relentless pace when no one is watching is difficult, but that quiet consistency is the only way to build a root system deep enough to sustain your ambitions once they finally see the light of day. Confidence is an acquired skill, not a genetic trait or a feeling you must wait for before beginning a task. You forge it by taking action, especially when you are unsure, unprepared, and afraid of failing. Every time you execute a task in silence, you are compiling data. You build a massive, undeniable catalog of proof in your own mind that you can handle challenges and figure things out. Once you accumulate enough of that internal proof through your own sweat and effort, your reliance on other people's opinions disappears. You stop looking for validation because you've already given it to yourself. When you reach this state, the environment around you changes. The petty distractions, the doubts from your peers, the negativity that used to ruin your day, they simply stop registering in your brain. The difference between the person who broadcasts their life and the person who works in the shadows is stark. The loud talker is left holding a handful of excuses, while the silent worker holds concrete, measurable results. The challenge is to stop announcing your every move. Protect your time, eliminate the unnecessary noise, and commit to showing up every day. If you build your foundation quietly, out of sight and out of mind, your success will eventually speak for itself. Your results will become so loud and so undeniable that you won't ever need to say a single word.